I walked at a steady pace through the shaded concrete pillars and came across an old woman. She was gazing at her bare wrist. It only took a second to realize what the mark was, what it meant. Uli, my host father, was a former Bundeswehr soldier that taught social science and history at the gymnasium in Landstuhl. In the evenings, we talked on his terrace. He was curious about my home, the South, and wanted information about divisions still common in America. Our talks were often about stereotypes of the South that I shook off, and soon historical stereotypes of Germans that weren't so easy to dismiss. Discussion shifted to my attempts to understand cultural guilt that Germany has 70 years after the war. These talks brought about our first and only conflict. My belief that his generation, born decades after the war, shouldn't hold themselves at fault, offended him. He was persistent that the guilt was a cultural sense of responsibility. After listening and not being completely reactionary, I accepted it. Uli showed how much the Germans cherished their friendship with America after we helped them back on their feet, and we talked about our nation's responsibility to respect the past. Uli told me the morning I departed for Berlin that he chose to host me to meet one of the men that could help pull his country to even higher heights, that my nation led his, and I will be a leader in my nation. In Berlin, I came across the Holocaust Memorial where the old woman sat. I walked straight through the center alone. I came across the woman with numbers tattooed on her wrist. When I exited, I found myself in the shadow of the U.S. Embassy. It showed the role my nation had played, and my discussions and whole immersion made me confident I could play this role in the future.